What we're going to do is show you probably a PowerPoint slide at this stage to give you an idea of some of the features and the benefits. We won't go into actual demos at this level, but what we will do is in future webinars we'll deep dive into each of the products and show some real details. So the Microsoft Cloud offering is actually quite a comprehensive suite of products. What you see, I suppose, underneath the line is the on-premise environment, the Microsoft Offices, the Windows servers, the SharePoint servers. And what you see above the blue lines is a representation of Microsoft's cloud offerings. Unlike most cloud vendors out there, Microsoft message regarding cloud computing is, I suppose, cloud computing as and when you need it. It's a hybrid environment. You can seamlessly move from an on-premise to a cloud environment and vice versa, or coexist, which we'll get into more details. So you can actually have a hybrid environment where some of your services could be in the cloud, some of your services could be on-premise, and even part of an existing service, such as email, could be half in the cloud and half on-premise. Right, so Office 365 encompasses Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Lync Online, and Office Professional Plus. It is actually replacing the current suite out there, which is called BPOS, Business Productivity Online Suite. There's been a rebranding and a renaming of the service, but I think the most core message to get across is that the Office 365 environment was rewritten from the ground up using Microsoft's 2010 based technologies, and it's actually designed for cloud. So the core code was written with cloud in mind, then on premises. So with Office 365, we now see the advent of Microsoft Office Professional Plus. This is basically a subscription-based model of Microsoft Office. The current version of Microsoft Office 2010 is on the current offering, but being a subscription-based service means that as long as you're paying your monthly subscription, you will have access to the latest version of Microsoft Office Professional Plus. Exchange Online is Microsoft's equivalent of the email environment. It is a very feature-rich system which is comparable to on-premise Exchange environments. It's a 2010-based Exchange service and provides all the functionality with Outlook and Outlook Web Access. Collaboration with SharePoint Online has taken a big step forward under Office 365. SharePoint Online, again using the 2010 SharePoint technologies, is now a very serious contender to intranets, extranets, and even to a certain degree internets. And Lync Online is Microsoft's desktop collaboration tool that encompasses basically live meeting, the existing live meeting, and Office Communicator. So those two products are rolled into Lync Online. So comparing Office 365 to the current environment, it is a deeper, richer experience. It is, as I mentioned earlier, it is being built from the ground up for the cloud. It provides more granularity, lots more control, and the features have been improved or increased dramatically. Office 365 actually addresses some of the huge gaps that BPOS was lacking in. Scalability under Office 365 is much, much better. and the authentication and authorization environment is cleaner, is much more smoother. So with the current version of BPOS, you actually have a number of web interfaces. Today under BPOS, for the IT professionals, you'd have to go to one particular site for your subscription and charts. You'd have to go to another site for your service, administering your service. For the end user, they'd have to go to a separate website, and they'd also have to install a sign-in client. Under Office 365, there's no longer a need for a sign-in client, and all the administration, all the work, everything is done through one website, one web interface. Microsoft recommend the use of a service connector, which is basically a tool that checks that you've got the right versions, that you've got .NET Framework 3.5 or above. It basically does an operational check, but it is not a sign-in client. It is just there to be run off for patching and configuring of clients. This can be actually deployed or run manually, or can be deployed in large enterprises without the connector. Some of the granular stuff that Microsoft have put into the environment can be seen in this slide. For example, in role-based access, you can actually create roles and assign these roles to people that are not necessarily IT staff. So billing admin could be handled by finance staff. You could even create partner controls where you can assign controls to partners that can help you administer, say, your SharePoint customizations. More importantly, these multiple role-based requirements are all based in the cloud, meaning that you can administer these from anywhere and everywhere as long as you have an internet connection. With Exchange Online and the 2010 technologies, you'll be able to use Active Directory Federation services to give you a single sign-on environment. So for large organizations that have an Active Directory environment, the user's email address and the user's Active Directory password will actually be their sign-on to the cloud. So what they log on to in their work environment is what they log on to the cloud. Using their domain credentials is a great benefit, and you don't have to memorize 2 sets of user accounts. So obviously some of the benefits of this are improved user productivity, no password synchronization issues, and multi-factor authentication in the form of SOL certificates and smart cards will be supported. Just something to bear in mind in this model is that users' passwords are not stored in the cloud. Those of you that understand the technical side of ADFS will know that when a user logs into the cloud, it's actually a token that's passed to the on-premises ADFS 2.0 server, which validates the user as being a member of that environment. So Microsoft does not store any of your passwords and does not keep it. All it does is pass the authentication back down to the on-premise environment to verify that you are who you say you are. Let's have a look at Exchange Online first. Exchange Online benefits from the latest Exchange 2010 technologies. There's been some major productivity feature gains, such as conversation view, mail tips, etc. The personal archive replaces the PST. Now under Exchange Online, under Microsoft, you get a 25 gig mailbox store. You do not need to assign 25 gigs of mail accounts to your staff. You could assign 20 gigs of that. That allows you to use the other remaining space as an archive area. And being in the cloud, this archive, it is fully searchable, and fully auditable. The same admin controls that you would find on Exchange 2010 server is also found on Exchange Online's admin consoles. The coexistence of Exchange Online and Exchange on-premise has improved massively. This slide outlines basically the detailed comparison of the BPOS environment, Office 365, and an on-premises Exchange 2010 environment. So everything you see in yellow outlines what BPOS currently offers. Everything in green is additionally what is available under Office 365. And the purple is basically what you could only get with an on-premise environment. As you can see just from this visual diagram, Exchange Online under Office 365 is a big step forward. A lot of features have now been provided in the cloud. There are two key remaining gaps. One of them is public folders. Public folders will not be supported in Office 365. So if you're using an Exchange environment where you do use public folders, Microsoft recommend using a SharePoint environment to move your data into the cloud, or use an existing on-premise Exchange environment. And there will be no Outlook 2003 support. So under Office 365, Outlook 2003 will work. We as IM Group have tested that, but it will not be supported. So, if an employee needs to learn new interfaces as part of migrating into the cloud, they're going to be dissatisfied. You're going to have high support costs. Having Exchange Online and having the same look and feel of Outlook in the cloud is a key message for Microsoft for enabling anywhere access. By having the same feel as their current email systems, the users will be able to just carry on and work and not be aware that they're actually in the cloud. This is through your PC, through the browsers. So in future events I'll show you how Outlook Web Access under Office 365 has literally the same features as an on-premise Outlook install. So it has all the same features, but it's delivered through a browser. And even the smartphone features, etc., are very, very powerful. We have a large 25 gig mailbox store as mentioned, so people will not need to waste time cleaning their mailboxes or moving to PST files, etc. So basically, emails and your data will be available all the time wherever you go, with no VPNs on a large range of devices. Not only is the web app experience quite detailed, but it also is integrated with other tools. So as well as supporting Firefox, Safari, IE and Chrome now, instant messaging is built into the OWA tool. So you can actually instant message through your web browser while you were checking out your emails. So, the integration between the Office 365 products is actually quite impressive, as well as the integration between Office 365 and, say, CRM Online and the Windows Azure platform. So you can actually do things like out of office, delegated, opening up other people's mailboxes, straight through the Outlook web app. So there's a lot of features that are covered through that. Organizations need robust antivirus and anti-spam solutions. One of the big advantages you get with Exchange Online is the access to the forefront online enterprise antivirus anti-spam solution. Administrators will actually be able to go in there and put in things like whitelists, blacklists, allow and disallowed IP addresses. They'll be able to set certain filters. This is built into the price and the structure of the system, so you get all this for free. So if you're using third-party anti-spam and antivirus services, you may need to have a think about that, because all this is actually part of the Exchange Online service, which you can configure to your organization's requirements. So disclaimers, messages, etc. can all be put in. Detailed levels of that is available. One of the key challenges relating to compliance is, how do you centrally manage and control your email data when you've got PSTs residing on people's hard drives? With native archiving built into Exchange Online, you can actually archive the emails into the cloud accounts. And with Exchange Online Plan 2, you can actually have unlimited mailbox sizes. Obviously that comes with a cost, but it allows you to actually have all your emails archived in the cloud, fully backed up and ready to be searched. So the mailbox experience for a user will never change. You can actually drag and drop your existing PSTs into this archive environment. So things such as moving your emails as or old emails into the cloud is very, very simple. This also gives you the ability to do the next stage, which is retentions, policies, and legal holds. So, for example, with the role-based access, a HR person could actually search for emails across the company relating to a specific topic and put a legal hold on it, which would actually stop staff from deleting those emails. You could actually set up retention policies, as you can see in this example, where you could say that all emails relating to a particular partner needs to be held for 5 years. Do not delete for 5 years. In summary, the cloud offering of the email compliance is pretty much in parity with an on-premise Exchange 2010 offering. So if you're looking at upgrading your email systems to Exchange 2010, you really need to have a serious look at Office 365 and Exchange Online, because there is a compelling argument from a client perspective. There's also a financial saving of not implementing the infrastructure, and there's an administrative argument and simplicity of implementing all this. As mentioned, a role-based access control can be set up. So this is called RBAC, and allows you to delegate administrative tasks at certain levels across your organization. So, for example, a systems administrator might have the ability to create and edit and look at roles and configure unified messaging, whereas you might delegate a help desk role to maybe just track messages and set up mobile devices or remote wipe them. And you might also set up a legal level for a compliance or HR manager to be able to do things like multi-mailbox searches or put messages on hold so they can't be deleted. People have asked us at IM Group, will Office 365 provide granular reporting? The short answer to this is yes. You can do things like audit access to which mailbox was accessed by other people. So who changed the hold status of this message? what changes have been made to the administrative roles in the IT department? Who has made configuration changes to this service? Or who has accessed my mailbox apart from myself? So you'll be able to pull out detailed logs and publish them or email them to your staff or organization as and when required from the cloud. As well as that, the ability to deploy will give you the ability for IMAP, Exchange 2003, 2007 environments. So the deployment flexibility means that you do not need to upgrade your existing Exchange environments. There's a web-based migration tool which will make it easier for you to move into the cloud with little impact to your environment. If you implement an Exchange 2010 server on your on-premise environment, you'll be able to coexist or create this hybrid environment where your users can seamlessly move in and out of the cloud between an on-premise Exchange environment and a cloud Exchange environment. So things like free busy information can be passed through into the cloud and vice versa. Resources like meeting rooms, etc., AV equipment. So you can actually, with a single click of a button, move between these environments. Just recently announced between Microsoft and BlackBerry, under BPOS several weeks ago, you would have needed to pay approximately £6.71 for having BlackBerry in the cloud. RIM has announced their cloud-based offering, and those customers that are already on BPOS will get this for free. Those customers on Office 365 by the end of this year will actually have BlackBerry in the cloud for free with Office 365 as long as they have an enterprise data plan. So for those customers in the UK, if you already have an enterprise data plan with, say, Vodafone for your BlackBerries, you'll be able to get BlackBerry services with Office 365 for free towards the end of this year. So, Lync Online. This is Microsoft's next generation of instant messaging and presence tool. One of the key things here is that it is integrating the two BPOS products of Office Communicator and Office Live Meeting, and it's replacing those two products in one, but providing a lot more features. So again, feature capability wise, what you see in the yellow, I hope you can see the yellow, is the current live meeting and Office Communicator offerings in the cloud. Green is what will come out in Office 365 on product launch. The light blue will be available at Microsoft's Phase 2 release, which generally takes 6 months after a product is launched. And the purple is pretty much what you can only do on premise, and these cover mainly telephony and PBX replacement. So some of the key remaining gaps with Lync Online are split domains. So what this means is that having some of your users in the cloud and some on-premise will not be supported with Lync Online. So you either need to be on Lync 2010 on-premises, or you need to be on Lync Online for your whole organization. You cannot have some in the cloud and some on-premise like you can with Outlook. And the other one obviously is true PABX replacement. Microsoft are looking at ways to enable voice of the PSTN lines in the cloud. We'll have more features and more information on this when they become available from Microsoft. So Lync Server 2010 ushers in a new connected experience. It can transform the way every communication can be turned into an interaction. With voice, instant messaging, audio, video, presence, web conferencing, all from one interface. It is so much easier for the user to have a single identity to find contacts and check availability. And this is all seamlessly integrated with Microsoft Office. Enterprise Instant Messaging under Lync and Office 365 will allow you to actually federate with organizations outside of your environment. So you can actually check for people under similar supported technologies, like people that already have federated their Lync environments with, we believe, all Hotmail, Instant Messenger, Microsoft Meeting, and Yahoo Messenger is all hooked up. You'll be able to actually do things like global address list lookups and skill searches and hook into SharePoint environments. You'll be able to feed in to Macintosh environments, and we'll be seeing phone devices and instant message archiving in future releases. Lync Online is very feature-rich. I'm not going to go through all the features and what you can do. We're going to cover that in another webinar. But from a high level, some of the key things to be aware of, as well as federating, is the ability to take an instant message and convert that to a meeting, a desktop sharing session, an applications sharing session, or a collaboration. And all the security is built into Lync. So whilst you can, for example, collaborate on a document or send a document to internal staff, Lync is built in so you cannot send documents outside of your organization to people through your live message or through your chat session. You actually have access to things like virtual whiteboards, and when you're having an instant message, you can actually do one-to-one audio and video conferencing. When you organize live meetings, the limitation is 250 users with Lync. So webinars such as this are limited to 250. If you need more than 250 attendees for your meetings, Microsoft do support that, but you need to contact them through your support environment, and they will actually arrange it for you. SharePoint Online is actually one of the key major improvements. SharePoint Online is based on the 2010 technologies under Office 365, and it is a very, very comprehensive set of tools and products. Again, this slide set outlines how much Microsoft has done work in providing the features in the cloud. Some of the key things to be aware of, I think, with SharePoint Online is that two main things that are probably not yet fully supported is the business intelligence integration, so accessing an on-premise database, etc., and the fast searches, so the ability to actually bring up as you're typing in the search environment from an on-premise. Microsoft are working on solutions and technologies for this, but we at IM Group have already found partners that have actually developed their own solutions to address some of those features that are missing. So as you can see, there's major improvements. Under the Sites and Communities tab, everything is provided in the cloud now. Document management, collaboration, extranets, so you can actually set up a website where staff internal and staff external to your organization can actually collaborate and work with. So for project environments or working with partners, this is exactly what was required. Social computing, records management, media management, It's all built into it, as well as the administration, the delegation, and the granular governance that's required. Again, the key message across here is that you're getting a true collaboration platform that makes anywhere access a reality. You can do more things quickly, saving more time and money, and you can respond to your market. You can create an extranet site to work on a project in minutes. You can set up and create document repositories and media libraries in minutes. No requirements for IT infrastructure, no IT. And you can actually get some of these, and Microsoft will release more details on their internet side of their SharePoint, so public access websites as well, so which will give you the ability to respond to your business needs more quickly. The authoring side of SharePoint is that same look and feel that you're familiar with your Microsoft products. So you have that Office feel, the ribbon that you get in the 2007, 2010 versions of Office will allow your staff to feel a lot more comfortable editing and creating themes. You'll be able to live preview and publish these. And if you actually have the staff and capabilities, you can use things like interactive Silverlight or PowerShell scripts to create some very powerful SharePoint web parts. From a user experience, from an end user that sees this, they can blog, they can comment, you can create rich media, so videos, etc. You can rate, you can tag. So all the current rich experiences such as blogging and content rating are all enabled by default in the SharePoint Online. Something new under Office 365 is the subscription-based model of Office Professional Plus. So this encompasses Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Outlook, Publisher Access, InfoPath, and SharePoint Workspace. In another webinar, we'll actually cover some of the not so well known of these products. As well as that, you actually get 4 products in the cloud. So Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and OneNote will be available through a SharePoint Online environment. And one of the key messages with Office Professional Plus, in a subscription-based model, is that Microsoft will allow you to install Office on 5 simultaneous machines. So 5 actual copies of Office Pro can be installed. You can't use them simultaneously, so you can't install them for 5 different users. What you can do is the concept of work from home really comes into play now. So you can actually go home and install, allow your staff to install Office Professional Plus at home on their home machine, and when they go home they can work away on that. Every time you use it, the application actually checks that you have a legitimate username and password. Instead of looking for a serial number, it actually checks once a month that the product is still registered. So when an employee moves across or changes roles or has left the company, you can actually, as an administrator, reassign that license to another user or disable that license. Office Professional Plus will then notify the user that this version of Office is no longer legitimate, and it will just keep warning them. If a user is offline, the product will actually keep functioning for 30 days, and then for another 60 days it will warn you that it hasn't been able to contact the internet. So for 90 days you'll actually be able to use Office Professional Plus in an unlicensed mode. but after 90 days it goes into a reduced functionality mode where users will be able to read and edit but not create. So the PowerPoint, OneNote, Word and Excel will be accessible from any browser environment through Office Web Apps. This will give you the ability to view Word documents, edit Excel documents. Now bear in mind that this is not the full-featured versions of Word and Excel, so you won't be able to do things like VLOOKUPs or complex macros in Excel, but it will give you the basic ability to view and do basic editing of your documents in the cloud. So the rich client feature is there. It's very beneficial for low functionality scenarios or remote mobile staff. Again, the pay-as-you-go subscription can be deployed manually. If you've got a large enough environment, you can actually deploy that. IT can use group policy or their current deployment tools, or you can allow the users to download and install it themselves, depending on how it is, how you run your environment. But it will give the ultimate productivity experience if you are using the latest version of Office 2010. So by subscribing to this Office, you'll actually be gaining all the benefits, such as the caching of documents so that you don't upload and download the full-size document into the cloud. One of the key features of Office 2010 is that if you had a 30 megabyte Word document, first time you edit that document, it will pull the document down onto your machine, a 30 meg download. When you make changes to it, it will only upload the changes to the cloud version of that 30 megabyte document. So some of those features and productivity gains can only be utilized if you have the latest version of Office. So going to the cloud or going to Office 365 is by no means an easy feat. Once you're in the cloud, it's all nice and easy, but some of the issues obviously is that you need to do a lot of work to get there, and this is where partners like ourselves come in. So we can help with analyzing your current infrastructure, your current environment, preparing tests and trials, helping out with single sign-on, helping build a hybrid environment so your migrations are seamless, and validating that the minimum requirements that you see, for example, on this sheet, are met. So things like, what version of Active Directory do you have? What are your internet connections? Will going to the cloud affect your WAN links? And if so, what are the recommendations? So your long lead out items, your short lead out items, your quick wins can all be assessed. So there's a lot of work to help prepare for the cloud. And if you're thinking about Office 365, seriously, you do need to actually start doing the work now in analyzing your requirements so you can build a project plan to migrate into the environment as and when you're ready. If you're an existing BPOS customer, Microsoft will not just flick a switch and move you across to Office 365. They will actually work with you and your partner in trying to organize the right time. Microsoft give you 12 months from going live with Office 365 to migrate from BPOS to Office 365. So you'll get a support ticket that says we would like to move you across, and you'll negotiate a migration. From an end user perspective, there is no work for you to do except make sure that you've met your minimum requirements and that you've educated your users. So your customers will not be required or responsible for the migration of any of the data. All they'll need to do is upgrade their client software and train their end users. So just released under the current Office 365 environment are the pricing plans. So for enterprises, there are 4 plans, they're E1, E2, E3 and E4. And they obviously differ in the value of services. We believe that E3 is the one that most organizations will look at real seriously. This is basically the current version of BPOS plus a subscription-based Office Professional Plus, plus the extra versions of, or extra features of SharePoint. So the advanced forms, the Visio and Excel services, and the of SharePoint Online, as well as Office Web Apps. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are a number of different plans, so you don't have to buy Office 365 as a whole set. You can actually purchase just components for your organization, and we're finding that a lot of customers tend to go through this route. Exchange Online is one of the biggest gains because you're not just getting an email system upgrade, you're getting an enterprise antivirus and anti-spam environment. You're creating a hybrid coexistence environment. Then once the single sign-on environment has been created, organizations then can look at putting their file servers into a SharePoint environment. They can look at weaning off their live meeting or instant messaging environment and kick in a Lync Online presence. And as their Microsoft Office licensing agreements come to an end, you really need to put the calculations into Office Professional Plus Online, because from our calculations it's actually much cheaper to have a subscription-based version of Microsoft Office Professional Plus. So, what can you do? Microsoft's Office 365 trial has actually started. So you can actually sign up to the beta system right now and get a feel for it and start playing around with it and get familiar with it. All you need to do is go to imgroup-online.com, and around the top right hand corner is where you can actually click and hook up and set up your account. While you're there, you might as well have a look at Microsoft's other online services such as CRM Online and the Azure platform that we've covered, so Microsoft's comprehensive range of services. So if you go to imgrouponline.com, you can start your journey with us and familiar with the service. We can help you in assessing what you need to do in your organization to migrate, or whether it's actually worth migrating to the cloud, if the cloud is suitable for you or not. Thank you all for listening through this webinar. If you have any questions about Microsoft's online services, or especially the Office 365 environment, feel free to drop me an email or ask me any questions that's on your minds. I'm more than happy to help out. In the upcoming webinars, we'll be going into the detail and showing actual demonstrations of the products. Thank you all for attending.